Hi, everybody. How's everyone out there? Just getting everything together. Haven't been on for a couple days. So it's been a crazy couple days of me just working. And tell you what happened to me on Saturday with the energies. And I had to take a look at my chart. So this is what some of the things that have been going on in energetically. I was at work and stuff and everything was going great, and it was really busy Saturday morning. I was on by myself, which is, whatever, um, and getting things done. So Saturday was extremely busy at work. Not extremely, it was busy. It could be busier, but it was constant. So anyways, doing my thing, and then finally, it was close to 5 o'clock, and I had my one last customer, and she was an elderly woman. I feel like she shoulda had a walker, you know, uh, because it was very difficult for her to walk. Helping her try on some different shoes, we got her some boots. She was looking for some slippers, but our slippers aren't high enough in the back for some people, right? So, I mean, our slippers are beautiful, but if you need that extra support, they could be a little bit too low in the back for you. They might feel like they're slipping off. And if you're having problems walking, you don't need a shoe, a slipper that's sort of flopping off your foot kind of thing. So, anyways, helped her out. Figured out that these our slippers are not for her, which is fine because not every slipper is for everybody, right? And, fine. And I was just like, "Oh, man, I went to the back and I sat down in the chair and I said, "I'm exhausted." And Andrew says, "Well, if you want, you can go home." I'm like, "Okay, just let me catch my breath and check when my bus is coming," because I was literally exhausted to a point that I could just have you could have just put a bunch of blankets in the corner and I would have fallen asleep. And on Saturday, that's when Pluto went over the moon for the last time. And I thought, sometimes I don't think about astrological things that are going on. I know that they're happening, and a lot of times I sort of mentally prepare myself, but I didn't prepare myself for this Pluto and moon. One, moon is the ruler of my chart, right? So if you're a Cancer, I have a Cancer moon and a Cancer rising. So whatever your rising sign is, that's the ruler of your chart, whatever rules that rising sign. And my rising sign is Cancer, so moon rules it. And plus, moon is in Cancer. So it gives it even more of an oomph of a power, right? When it comes to the Cancer energy. And when the moon went over that, it just like it it was I'm gonna say kinda like an awakening of looking at or feeling, I guess, the exhaustion of the last 16 years, which sounds hilarious, but I mean, I took the bus home. My bus is really lined up nicely, it was really nice. But, just to be out of the mall, once I got out of the mall and the air was very crisp, it was like +5 or something, so the air was very crisp outside, it was just feeling so wonderful to be in connection with, getting some fresh air and, getting my, bearings back, and then by the time I got home, had a shower, I was in bed by 8 o'clock and I was gone. Saturday night, gone. Like, I was just out of it. Like, it was just very exhausting for me. And I know this weekend is a very trying week. This weekend is one of the most intense weekends of the year. And as we're going into this week and the full moon that's building up on Friday, it is an intensity. It is also Remembrance Day, so my heart goes out to all those veterans who have served us and those who are, in service now around the world, so blessings to them. I just had to say that. We had side note, we had jets going over our house, my little place was just as these great big, jets, were going over my home. It was it's kinda cool, won't lie, but anyways, back on track, Mary. Um, the intensity of this week. We have Mars, which is in Sagittarius, will be slowing down. We have Saturn that is going to be going direct on Friday. We have so then we're only going to have Uranus and Neptune retrograde. Oh, and then Mercury's going to be going retrograde. But that intensity. So we're coming into an intense Mercury retrograde too, which is the god of communication. So with Mercury, and this Mercury retrograde is not going to be an easy Mercury retrograde. It is going to be one that is really going to keep you on your toes when it comes to communication, making sure that you are double checking all your appointments, double checking all of your files, making sure that everything is backed up. And I mean backed up, because this is when things are going to crash. Now, I've already had little silly things that have happened just in doing some of my readings this morning, which have been quite interesting, and getting things sent out to people. So my readings for the full moon readings have all been sent out. So hopefully you've all received them and received the right ones. So anyways, everything has been sent out. So that's been sent out, and each of my full moon and new moon readings, people who've ordered them, people who've had them for the year, have a special offer in their readings for them. And that offer is only for the full moon and new moon readers and the people who ordered one for this full moon in Taurus. So letting that go. So the other thing is that with this moon going over Pluto, and Pluto is also my ruler of Scorpio, because that's where my sun is. My sun is in Scorpio. So I have this energy of my transformational energy, which is Pluto. Pluto is the death and resurrection. Pluto is the judgment card, right? So in the tarot, Pluto rules the judgment card because it is the resurrection. It is the coming out of. So here we are coming out of, we're coming out of, the changes in our life, the changes that no longer are our attachments, and entering into a new energy, which will happen on November 19th and 20th. Now, we've already experienced Pluto in Aquarius, but it I feel like that the truth of that energy has not really been felt until going from November 20th forward, because there was a sense that Pluto's going to come back. Oh, it's all, fine, he's here. Oh, you know what? We're just going to go back to the old ways. And this is now the final hurrah of saying, no, I'm never coming back. I won't be here for another 248 years. I'm bringing in the changes, and I'm bringing in the changes fast and furious. And those changes in Aquarius are the ones that are very, and this isn't to do with Aquarius people themselves, but the Aquarius it's a very cold energy. All right, it's air, and it's fixed air, and it's crossed from fixed fire. So fixed fire is hot. It can be very hot, it could be blazing. That bonfire could just go, crazily. Air energy is very much, it is the one that is ruled by Uranus, which is the ruler of the heavens. He's in the god realm, and he is the ruler of the space, of technology, of the higher consciousness, of the connection. So it is in that place where it can feel cold. It can feel, where it can be very this is the way we're doing things, right? This is how it's being done. So that's why it's so important with this last hurrah with Pluto at the end of Capricorn, is looking at everything that we've created in the last year, 16 years, because Capricorn is about groups. It is about connection. Capricorn was the one about influencers coming out, YouTubers coming out and doing their thing and becoming famous. That was Capricorn. Now we're going into Aquarius, and you're going to find a lot of influencers aren't going to be around. They're not going to be sticking around. And that's because a lot of the energies of Aquarius is bringing out the knowledge, bringing out things of like, yeah, I know that. Why am I following that direction? Why am I believing in that? This is where you're going to find, and especially with some of the um after the inauguration with Trump, if it happens. But anyways, that's a whole nother subject. But with after the inauguration of the next president of the United States, we are going to see humongous change when it comes to communication, how we are connecting with others, the truth that is going to be coming out, right? So these types of things are going to start coming out. Now that's going to make some people very scared. And so with this full moon in Taurus is really getting us to to hunker down and to look at those truths, right? This is Taurus. Taurus is the bull. The Taurus is the one that hangs on and says, "This is what we're doing." You know, if you've ever seen a bull being penned up and it's and it's springtime, it's mating season, you know, it's very difficult to keep that bull tent because he wants something. He goes, "I want that little heifer out there. I want that girl," right? So he's got a goal, right? That's Taurus. I got a goal, and this is what I'm doing. I'm going to plow the ground. I'm going to plow the fields. That's Taurus. He's going to go plowing, and that's that energy. I want to go create. It's that fertilization of the energies and bringing forth the fertilization of what it is that I am wanting to create, of what it is that I want to have within my life, and what are the values, right? And I was watching a little bit a little bit on Remembrance Day, and a lot of these guys were coming in and talking about values, but the values of the community, of what links us together, but not what separates us. And I thought that was very interesting how they segued that in, especially on Remembrance Day, of remembering the values, what brought us together as a community, that brought us together as a country, and how that solidifies each and every one of us. And I found that interesting that they brought that in because they were talking about diversity and everybody having, to being diverse. And they're like, yeah, you can be diverse, but at the end of the day, it's like, what are those values that are bringing people together? What are those values? What are the things that are linking us as a nation? And that's Capricorn. That's Pluto in Capricorn. That's that community. That is that solidification of what is bringing us together. That is what happened in 1776. What is it that wants to bring us together as a new world, as a new nation? Lincoln being president of the United States, what's bringing us together as a country and what's separating us as a country? This is all coming in on world points. What's bringing us together as a world? The French Revolution. What's separating us from the elites to us wanting to eat? Right? What is that separation? How can we make those changes? That's why Napoleon was able to get in, right? And I mean, Napoleon was a watch the movie Napoleon on Prime. I mean, brilliant man. Brilliant man. He was a very smart man. Little bit of a horn dog, very funny you know, very a little bit obsessive, but he did had some strategic ideas. He did have a love for what he believed France should be, right? That those values of France. But that's the whole thing. That's bringing in that solidification that's coming in, and Pluto at the end of Capricorn is getting us to really look at the truth of those things in our own life and how we feel about them and how we want to go forward with all of that. Very powerful, very powerful. And then today with, the moon is coming in and it's snuggling up and it's going to be going over Neptune. This is coming into how is that all connecting us internally to our spiritual values, to our higher self, to that connection of our higher self. And I was listening to, I don't know if it was Dr. Wayne Dyer, an old video or something, and he was talking about it. And then I ran across somebody else. Anyways, they were talking about sin and that how nobody thinks about sin nowadays, or they think that there's no such thing as sin. And I'm just like, interesting. Because if you believe in sin, and biblically or non-biblically, I don't give a shit. But if you think about it, if you believe in that, or if you have an understanding of what sin is, that means there's a consequences to your actions. But when you don't believe in it, when you believe it's like, well, There's no such thing as sin. There's no such thing as being held. God, some higher being is going to give me accountability or whatever. I can go and do what I want. That's the evil part. When you believe that there's no accountability for your actions, that you believe that there is no retribution to what it is that I do and how it's going to affect other people. There's a, and what I say, I could just say and blurt whatever I want to say to you, and I don't care how that makes you feel, right? So this is like, it does get kind of mucky and stuff like that when we're looking at our values and we're looking at our truths, because we have to look at that. It's like sometimes there's things like, yeah, I may not like totally of what you are doing, but you're an adult and you're not hurting anybody else. Well, that's your road. That's something you're going to have to figure out on your own. But for you to blaspheme or you to throw your shit upon me because you don't like what I thought or what I believe or who I voted for or who I didn't vote for, and wanting to cast shame and cast blame and cast other things upon that person, that's a sin. And people are finding that, oh, that means I have to be accountable for my shit. I have to be accountable for what it is that I say. And that means that I have to be very thoughtful, because whatever I put out there, remember, whatever I put out there comes back to me. Whatever I put out there comes back to me. If I'm saying, the everything, this person is blah 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 blah, then that blah 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 is going to come back to me in some format. So what is it that we want to start putting forward? And that's that end of Pluto in Capricorn. This full moon wants us to really look at, what is that energy, what is that we want to put forward. And this week is going to be a very trying week that is going to get us to really look at those parts in our lives that we are wanting to keep, and that what we are wanting and ready to let go of. And sometimes we're not ready to let go of it, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just understand, well, maybe right now is not the time for you to let go of these certain energies or frequencies or people in your life, but it's getting you to really understand, why am I hanging on to this? Why am I hanging on to this, whatever it is? And it's something that you have to go internally and go with your God and have that conversation, so you can raise yourself up. And that's where that moon over Neptune is going to hit you, because it's going to say, you got to start paying attention to this, because I'll bring in all the delusions and I'll bring in all of the crazy shits, because it can get really, I can get you to look at things in craziness ways. And that's what Neptune can. And he's retrograde right now, right? He's going to be leaving, Pisces next year, and he's going to go into Aries. Then he's going to retrograde back into Pisces, and then finally go back into Aries in 2026. And that's where he's going to meet up with Saturn. And that, what you are working on today, when he meets up with Saturn in Aries, if you're not working on that shit, if you're not working on that in 2026, and I know I'm going ahead of myself here, because 2025 is going to be that whoa year of like, what the fuck is going on year, right? This is a year of getting things and realizing it. Oh, this is what I need to do. This is what I have to do. This is me setting up my fortification. This is me setting up what it is. This is why I've been trying to get everybody since 2017. Get your shit together. What side of the river are you on? Where are you going to go? Right? You can't you can't straddle the river anymore. You can't be on both sides. This is where you make the choices. And when it goes into 2025 and you haven't made that choice, it's going to be very difficult on the directions that you want to take. And this full moon is getting and highlighting that for you. You got to love the universe. You got to love how God directs the planets and how things are getting, because he's giving chances after chances after chances of saying, got your shit together? You're working on it? Oh, you're not. Okay, here's another chance. You got your shit together? Okay, let me make things a little bit crazy for you to maybe realize that, right? Realize the craziness. Hit me on Saturday with that moon going over Pluto was like, whew, I really need to take time. I really need to take time so I can connect with myself. So I don't overextend myself. And that's so, so important, in this world today. So, because if you're overextending yourself, if you are over exasperating yourself in some way, it will bite you in the butt. And I know myself as a projector, because I'm the one who helps people. I'm a teacher. I'm, to lead people to that next spot. That's what my job is. It is not, sometimes it's not the job of being, you know, the glorious one, the one out there all the time. I'm the one who takes each individual person and helps them upon their road in some format. That's what I feel my job is. And but I also know that it's not to if I had to do a group of 1,000 people every day or do a lot of things like Tony Robbins, like if I had to do a lot what he d I would just be like in the hospital with an IV, getting some vitamins, and whatever else I need just to pump me up to get me going again because it's a lot of energy and it'd be very difficult for my energy to maintain. Not for him. He's a manifestor generator, and I think he's a 5-1 or something like that, but he's got like high energy, right? That's what he does. That's why he can do what he does. Honor that, right? For me, I don't have that like I have high energy, but my energy is like where I have to really like, okay, I can do this for this time. Need a couple days break. Okay, I could do that. And then I need a couple more days break, right? But to do it full on, but that's where when on Saturday it hit me, okay, whew, I really need to recoup. And so I fell asleep from 8 o'clock. I slept from probably 8:30 that night to, what was it, 6 o'clock in the morning because I had to be at work at 8:30 the next morning, so crazy. So watch your energies out there. It's pretty crazy out there. So, hey, girl, happy Monday. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow. Definitely blessings to you on that, and blessings to all the vets. So sending you guys out so much love today. Uh, as I said, full moon readings are out for everybody. The offer is in there. Please let me go. Let me know. Let me go. Let me know a yes or a no if you are wanting to continue everything for next year. I was at a trade show on Saturday and it was crazy and I was sleeping by 6:30. Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, Saturday's energies were just nutters, just totally nutters and I was shattered. I was totally shattered by the time I came in. Steve asked me, "Do you want something to eat?" No, not really. I just wanted to go to bed. I just took some cheese and crackers and went to bed. That's it. Ate a little bit and I just passed right out, man, right out. So, you know, and I've also, said to myself between now and probably Christmas Day, maybe to the New Year's, but I am just doing for my own self, my own personal self, a little bit of sobriety and allowing myself to just reconnect, recleanse my own body at this time and do some realignments for my body. And you know, that's what I feel I need to do for myself at this time. And yeah, this is like a reconnecting time. And the funny thing is when you do something like this, um, you have to also be aware of what comes around you and the temptations that show up, which are pretty crazy. Because I know whenever I'm going and doing a special journey within my own self, um, how crazy temptations come up and sort of pull me off of the journey that I'm on. So if you're on a journey, if you are doing things that you are creating newness in your life, um, be aware of the temptations that do come around you. Because you know what? I know the devil's real. I know there's the temptations that are out there. So honor yourself on that. Let me pull a card before I go um, today. And if you are wanting to book a reading, let me know. We'll book you in. I only have a few spots left. So December is going to get really crazy. I don't think I got a lot of spots left for December, unfortunately. So if you did have readings left for the year and you have not used them, I am so sorry. You've had 365 days to get them done. And time is running out, and my calendar is pretty full for the end of the year. Plus, I'm working on people's year-end readings as well, and getting things written up for people's year-end readings, and that takes a lot of time as well. The Knight of Swords. Things are going to come fast and furious for us. So pace yourself, because that energy, when the Knight of Swords comes in, he's just full on. Here I am. And it's like a whirlwind of energy that comes in. And, if you're a fire energy and you like to control your fire and keep it in a certain way, this is when this energy can come in and get your bonfire. All of a sudden, it's like you like little things exploding in there. Or if you're a mutable sign, it's like all of a sudden, you're already moving around. You are moving even more crazily than what you were moving to begin with. This is when also, if you're wanting to be feeling safe and secure within your life, where things can become disruptive and throw you out of that safety, throw you out of that security into a place that feels uncomfortable. So be careful, right? This is fast and furious energy. Let's see what other energy that comes in with it. Yeah, so it's not going to be the way that you like it to be. It's not going to be that pretty mundane. I want it to have it this way, because when she's upright, she's like, this is my garden. This is how it's growing. I love everything. This is where, no, my garden just got blown away with a tornado. What the hell just happened? Now I got to resort things. So that's where we're at. This week is going to be a lot of resorting. Sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all you say and all you be and all you do. Have a blessed one, everyone. I can finally put up some of my Christmas decorations, because now I know it's November 11th, but it's my day off and I'm going to get some decorations up. So have a blessed one. See you later, everybody. Bye.